Wow.
Tell you what, okay, actually, I accidentally clicked live. So, all right, we're live now. I
Oh,
was actually gonna
how
make
long have we
a
been
little announcement.
live?
No, it just started. So, all
Okay.
right, tell you guys what. Since we're now live, it's good. We'll let the audience build up a little bit too, because we are broadcasting both on YouTube and Facebook like we've done before. And while we're waiting, I'm waiting on, like I said, Zach. See if he can get on here, and I'm also waiting on Frank. But we'll go ahead and get started. Um, oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
There's Zach right there. Cool.
oh, he made it.
What's
All right.
up?
See, one, two, three,
He
four.
made
Yeah.
it.
All right. Cool.
Oops.
All
Okay.
right. Zach's in the dark. So, be, before we bring our guest on, tell you what, let me go ahead and get him on here now. There's no sense of holding off. Let's see. I'm going to introduce you guys to. Here we go. There's Michael Patterson. How you doing, Michael?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi.
I'll-
There.
Hey, Michael, could you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh, we have no audio on Michael.
Nope,
I
I
can hear
hear
him
him
perfect.
fine.
I can hear him fine.
You hear him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not hearing him.
I can hear all you guys.
Oh, there we go. Now I hear you. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, everybody, this is Michael Patterson. And Michael, real quick, you're from Danville, Virginia. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool. I well, we're gonna talk with you about your Bigfoot encounter and your sighting here very shortly. Um, one thing I like to do too is with the other panel members, I like to kind of touch base with each of them before we get into everything. First, let's start with Nikki. Nikki, what's been going on with you lately? Anything new with you, or anything new with the Bigfoot world that you might want to share with us that you might know about?
You know what?
Can,
It's been the same except for, controversy of course is always the big thing going around, and there's a lot of hoopla going around involving that Isdall from howtohunt.com. I don't know if you've
right,
heard of him, but he's a very opinionated squatch. No, well, he's not a squatcher at all. He's a professional hunter and guide, and but he has had seen Bigfoot several times, so he is a knower, and he's just very opinionated about what they are, and um, look, he looks down on the Bigfoot community in a whole, mostly because of the way we treat ourselves. but
right,
but so he's got a lot of people up in arms because he recently did a video putting down Dr. Meldrum and like Moneymaker and all of them, for being part of like a whole conspiracy for just doing this for the money and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of stuff going on with that.
okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with what you're talking about. I have not checked out the video. What he said. I mean, how? I mean, was he pretty disrespectful towards Dr. Jeff Meldrum, or?
Well, he called him Meldum.
Oh,
He says
okay.
it in a kind of a weird way, and yeah, he does. He's pretty. He says what he feels, and he doesn't go around it with any type of tact. He just says it. he just, he
Yeah.
just lets it all out. If he doesn't like something or doesn't believe in something, he says it, and he thinks we're all pretty dumb for going out there and looking for Bigfoot. Because he says, "What are you looking for? It's out there. It's done. Everybody, you've found all kinds of." He feels we've found all the proper evidence to support that we have found Bigfoot. You know, so just leave it the way it is.
Right.
Because he doesn't go out looking for it. It just so happens that 90% of his time is out in the deep wilderness of Canada. He's British Canadian, I guess, but he does that whole area. He lives out there, and so that's why he comes into contact with them.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I was wondering where all the sound are. All the noise was coming from. It's coming from Zach.
oh,
Him rattling papers.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
can
I'm reading
understand
the
that.
article that I was in.
Oh,
oh,
okay. Well, we can get to that in a little bit. Yeah, this guy with what he's saying. I mean, I think a lot of us almost feel that way in a sense that as far as a lot of us know and believe with just from the little bit that we have found. I mean, yet regardless, science is not going to accept half of what we uh, personally accept,
right,
but
right.
mm, you
Well,
know,
he
but
comes from the whole background that he doesn't give a crap about any of that.
yeah,
He feels there already exists. Just leave him alone.
yeah,
And there's no proving to anybody. It's if you've never seen one, then you've never seen one. Period. you know, and
right,
and he's not. He doesn't sugarcoat his feelings at all. So, and he makes it quite clear in every single video that he does in regards to Sasquatch. He lets you know. And I mean, I don't hate him. I think he tells a lot of truth. And he's very believable when you hear him and his stories, and the stories he relays through his channel um, are all from other guides and stuff like that. So they it really makes you believe more in Bigfoot, you know, because of his
right.
stories. So, or encounters. I guess they're true life encounters. So, um, and he's of the background that why don't you believe people? Believe if they're telling you the story. Why believe them? Of course, there are some people who take advantage of that and make up stories. So
Exactly.
you just you have to beware of both sides. So
Yeah,
both sides of
it's
the
just one of
coin.
those things. With every story, I mean, regardless if it's truth or not, I mean, everything we hear and see, I mean, I believe it's safe to say that we all need to take it with a grain of salt, regardless of who it's coming from. If it's
Right.
my story or your story, or it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody who hears what we share, um, I mean, yeah, we know what we've seen. If for those of us who have seen them, we know, but
Yeah.
it's
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's right that we should push on, try to, yeah, we shouldn't have to prove it to nobody either, but
Mhm.
it's take it or leave it.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
um, but yeah, real quick on the live chat, um, I'll show it to everyone here. Ron, Ron Rutherford Ford said, if it shows up, there it goes. He says, yeah, society, I think he meant won't believe us. Yeah, he says society won't believe us till we bring a body in or someone mistakes one for a bear. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean
And
that's
there's been
true. So
encounters of that. There's that one encounter or story, whatever you want to call it, where there was one that was bending. I guess a Bigfoot was bending down, and a kid thought it looked like the rear of a bear, and went ahead and took a shot and shot the Bigfoot. You know,
mm,
but there's
wow,
no evidence
Wow.
to that. But once he got up to it and saw it was a Bigfoot, he saw how well human it looked and that it wasn't a bear, and immediately got scared that he could get in trouble and just left it you know
right.
so
In,
never know.
that's interesting. All right, Baltimore, how you doing, man?
I am doing good. Well,
Awesome.
I'll put my 2 cents into this thing. Um, like in the area that I'm at, I know for a fact is there. Um, by the little evidence I've been having and the vocals I've been hearing and everything, I don't record nothing. I should, but to me, it's just like hearing a cardinal or a green jay sing or whatever, and is basically my norm. Um, and but thing is, again, he's normally not there all the time, but when he's there, he basically makes himself known. And I have tried everything in my power in order for me to catch it on a trail cam, and which I can't. So I'm just gonna have to think outside the box how to do that. So instead of putting it, I'm just trying all these different techniques now. Um, but the the thing is also too, people always say that we have to have have a body in order for us to prove that it's real. Let's
Yeah.
say, hypothetically speaking, just hypothetically speaking, let's say for example that there's only 20 species these Bigfoots around inside the United States. Why do I have to kill one in order for me to prove to you that it's real? That's the thing. We don't need a body. I mean, the thing is, again, it leaves a lot more evidence behind, like hair samples, for example, that we could actually get some DNA samples from that. We don't need a body.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, has been improving for so long. Every single day, our cell phones have been, updated or have been coming up. And one of these days, we're going to actually catch it on the cell phone, or basically on a trail cam. So we just have to uh, technology has to be just a little bit more better. So
Right. I definitely agree. Um, Zach. All right, how you doing, Zach?
Tired.
What's been going on with you? We haven't talked to you really much in a while, a good while. As far as I know, you've been busy dealing with your wrestling and everything else. Do you want to give us a rundown of what's been going on with you and if
I've
there's
been
anything
hiding.
cryptic you've been hiding?
No, I
Go ahead,
just
talk to us.
I took a step back and I just took time for myself and everything. And we've been having a lot going on around here with the family and everything. People having issues with their health in the family. So, I put Bigfoot on the shelf and everything and just focus on the time with my family. Of course, about this time of the year, I really go and I start really winding things down until the spring. Um, just been very, very busy and working a lot. That's just about it and everything. Other than I started wrestling and they're already talking about putting me on in a match here December 7th. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
Nice.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
it's been I'm just gonna go down. This year has been one hell of a friggin' ride. I mean, I got to speak at my first conference in Virginia this year at the ECBRO Con. I hosted 7 town halls this year in Southern Illinois, 7, and I got to actually get a whole lot of audio from this one group that's out of Hardin County that they have an entire freaking audio library that they have, and it's all knocks. They've got samurai chatter, whoops, rhythmic knocking, all kinds of good stuff. They actually showed me a picture that I've actually got now that I've sent off to be cleared up by a friend of mine that is a photo whiz, not MK Davis, somebody that's local that I can trust. I've got a lot's happened this year. We're getting ready. The Southern Illinois Monster Hunters are getting ready to make their television debut on December the 13th on WSIU PBS. We've been featured in 2 books this year. We've been featured in the newspaper front page of the Southern Illinoisan with the godfather of cryptozoology, Lauren Coleman.
Wow.
Woo!
This whole freaking year, 2019, has been one hell of a year. Probably one of the biggest years that we probably won't ever get the chance to have again.
Awesome.
You know what? I'm gonna have to start calling you Showtime.
Showtime.
or either that, the new Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, it's been freaking awesome, man. I'm starting to get back into Bigfoot after the first of the year and everything. I just took some time off for myself for my own mentality, for my family and everything, because my mother, my brother, and my uncle have been having some health issues, along with my dad, helping take care of the farm with my granddad. Really going back to my roots and everything, and really going and putting time back into my community. But I'm not gone. Don't worry, folks. I'm still around.
Cool.
Good.
I do want to plug one thing though, and it's away from the whole Bigfoot thing, of course. I will say this: if you do live in Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri area, and you do get WSIU PBS, December the 13th at 11:30 p.m. On alternate news 2646. That's whenever our episode will be on, and we're also going to be having the night after a private watch party at my grandparents' place, and then also coming up on December the 7th at Black Diamond Harley Davidson Warehouse in Marion, Illinois, is the All-American Pro Wrestling Resurrection event that the company I wrestle for, Stride Pro Wrestling's putting on, and it's a benefit show for a former wrestler that's a neighbor of mine, Dan Curly Summers. He wrestled under the name Curly. He's been having a lot of heart troubles and everything. The hospital ain't wanting to take the insurance to go and do the procedure that he needs to have done to save his heart. So we're trying to raise up some money for that. We're already looking at about 600 to 650 people being at this event on the 7th.
Wow.
And the tickets, guys, if you're local and you like some good wrestling, come on out. The tickets for adults are only $10. Kids are $5. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. and the bell time is at 6:30.
Sounds good. For real. So now I know you explained it to me before, but you got your name listed on here as Texas Outlaw, Zach Derek. Now, if you want to go ahead and explain that to everybody, why you're titled. I know this is your wrestling name, Texas Outlaw. So if you want to maybe briefly explain to everybody.
Well, the way it happened, I was at my first night of practice, and one of my wrestling coaches, the 2-time Stride heavyweight champion, Jay Spade, he asked me what my name was, and I told him, I said, well, my name's Zach, and he said, you're not from around here, are you? I said, yeah, I grew up just a couple miles down the road over in Crab Orchards where I went to school at, and he goes, you sound like you're from Texas. And it's stuck. They started calling me Tex and everything, and they wanted to call me Texas Red, and I said, no, I'm not going to do Texas Red because that was Mark Calloway, the Undertaker's name in WCW before he came over to the World Wrestling Federation. I'm not going to take a legend's name like Texas Red, so I just went with and then my team member Doc Galloway and my sister, we sat around a table and we brainstormed for like 5 or 6 hours trying to come up with a wrestling name and a gimmick for me to wrestle under, and my sister come up with Texas Outlaw, and it stuck.
Wow.
Now, they said he sounded like a Texan. Nikki, Baltimore, is that an insult to you guys?
Very, very,
Baltimore
very,
said very.
very.
Uh,
No, they told
oh,
me that
Lord, I had to throw that out.
they told me that my first couple matches were going to be about 2-minute squash matches, and the only two guys that we'd be going and having them feed me to, the saying goes, is Bo Sawyer of the Indiana Monster Hunters. He's a big power lifter who weighs 325 pounds from Vicini's, Indiana. And then we got one that's the Viking Roger Mathis, who's a former United States Marine, and he's like 6'6" and weighs 275 pounds.
Ouch.
Wow.
But then they was talking about, I've been writing this idea and I've been pitching them this idea for a storyline between me and their youngest, or their newest wrestler, Davion Ayers. He's from the next town over, the next county over, as Murfreesboro, Illinois, and he's the new young kid. He weighs probably about 175 to 180 pounds, and he's got these big dreadlocks. So I've been pitching on this idea because I'm trying to get him and me both some heat because we're both relatively new. I said, put me in there with him in a 3-match series. I'll tap out to him the first match, and whenever he goes to put me in his submission, I'll reverse it, put him in a figure 4, and make him tap out. And then the end of the series, we have a hair versus hair match.
Okay.
My mom
Hair
about
versus
freaked
hair?
out whenever I said that.
What, are you going to wear a wig?
No, I ain't gonna wear a wig. They want me because the former heavyweight champion and one of my coaches, Red Daniels, has got the same hairstyle as I do. And they're like, you gotta shave your head. I'm like, I ain't gonna shave my fucking head. I've had this hair for 4 years.
Just make sure that you put this match on Facebook. I want to see it.
Well, I'm gonna
that'd be
try
cool.
whenever we do have the match. I'm gonna go and have them broadcast it live on Facebook.
Well, Baltimore, you know anything? If there's any matches that he has that makes him look bad, he's not going to show it.
Oh, I know that.
But yeah. By the way, big dog Elf on the chat was agreeing, replying to that question about the insult to the Texans. He said yes, that was insulting.
Oh, definitely for sure. Oh man, let me tell you one thing. Once you have the Texas title to it, and at the end of it, people will come after you. Let me tell you,
Oh,
they do not. They do not like Texans, especially a fake one. Yep.
you're in trouble, Zach.
Zach, I'm telling you, Zach.
You're gonna have a stampede after you.
Especially if you fought a Texan. Oh man, no.
Lupe Mendoza said, I can do midget wrestling. What do you think, Zach's in? Nah, I'm just joking.
Actually, all the wrestlers are same height except for Bo Sawyer and Roger Mathis. Like, I'm taller than the heavyweight champion, Axe Allworth. Well, right. I got a cutout and everything. People are calling me, and I've got to go and get ready to go help butcher a deer that was given to us. So I'll talk to you guys later on. I'll still be watching the chat.
Sounds good.
Aren't you all famous and big time? See, I told you he's all big time Showtime. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, no. He got a deer tonight, and he needs me to help him start going and dressing it and processing it.
There you go, bud.
Well, wish me luck tomorrow. I'm going out in the morning. We're supposed to get rain, but it ain't supposed to be till around noontime. So hopefully, maybe I see something tomorrow.
Daniel, if you could even hit the broadside of a barn, I'll be surprised.
Hey, I got a good shot. Don't worry about that.
Hey,
I can shoot.
I already got 2 already. So
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. This is going to be my
I'll
first
talk with
time
you
going
guys
out this
later. Have a
year.
good
So.
evening, folks.
Bye.
All right. All right, Zach. Alrighty. Well,
hey,
our guest. We'll
let's
go ahead
talk
and
to our
talk.
guest.
Yeah, he. Here he is. He came back. He
Great.
keeps getting knocked out. All right, here we go. We got Michael back. Well, Michael, I tell you what, we're gonna jump into you now, and then after we get through talking about, we'll probably get into talking about some other stuff afterwards. But I know we definitely want to hear about your encounter, and I know everybody else is here waiting for to hear this. Everybody loves a Bigfoot story. I know I do, and I think I speak for all of us. We all do. So if you want to kind of give us a little rundown and kind of fill us in on when when this happened, where you don't have to share where if you don't want to. I know a lot of people are funny about giving off locations, but I'm gonna go ahead hand this over to you and let you take it from there, and then I'm sure we'll probably have some questions here and there throughout the story or towards the end of it. So how about it, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. My audio on my end is real bad, but I'll do the best I can.
Uh-oh, I can't hear him.
But can you hear me?
Um,
I can.
I can hear you right now. Hey, real quick, by any chance, do you have any earbuds you can plug into your phone? Because that
Hang
there will
on a
actually,
minute. Let me.
yeah, if you have earbuds with a mic, that will help.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me.
All right. All right. So yeah, he's checking on that.
Okay, is that any better?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh yeah, much better. So all
Okay.
right, cool.
Yeah, good. Well,
If by some chance
it happened summer.
if we oh go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, it happened summer of 1989. Uh, I was 18, and all my buddies were around 18, and we had one female with us. She used to sneak out to be with her boyfriend, which was one of my other friends with us. And well, we scored us a bottle of booze and looking for the most secluded place to drink it because at 18, moms and dads ain't real cool with booze. And
Oh yeah.
so, so we go out to a little area here in Virginia. It's called the White Oak Mountain Game
Mm-hmm.
Management Area, and it's 3,000 acres of land that people don't mess with. You don't hardly ever see anything in there, people wise. And this base is the base of the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, you know. And well, we pulled up. Everybody was in a old Toyota pickup truck, and whoever couldn't get in a cab, was in the back. It was me and 6 other people, and got to drinking. We had a fishing trip coming up. We was kind of discussing some tactics of different things we were going to try. We never tried before, and listening a little bit on the radio, but we weren't raising our voice much at all. Hadn't drank enough to be raising our voice. But all of a sudden, man, it was this huge crash, and it was behind me. I'm standing at the driver's door of the truck with the door open. And the crash happened probably, I want to say, 50 to 75 yards in the woods ish. And man, it was super loud. First, the immediate thought was a tree fell over. And And then, I mean, after the crash, we started hearing walking. And I've been in the woods all my life. I'm from Virginia. We hunt, we fish, and it wasn't no Nintendo or Atari or PlayStation back when I was a kid. If you want to play, you went outside, went to the woods, and anyway, you could tell it was walking. Around us about 50, 75 yards deep, and my initial thought was maybe being a game reserve land that it could have been a game warden, trying to pop out on us. But man, this thing is way too big, and who in the world, what game warden will be hiding in a tree in the middle of nowhere? This place is in the middle of nowhere. Just trying to catch a couple of teenagers drinking a bottle, But anyway, it starts walking. I mean, it's bipedal. It's making terrible. I mean, you could feel each step, and it was making. I call them snorting slash grunting sounds.
Yep.
I couldn't remake the sound if my life depended on it. It's real strange, but it was real gurgly. I mean, you could tell it come deep. And this, I kept throwing the light up there. I had a 1 million kind of power spotlight. I kept throwing it up and throwing it up, and it was just so thick. It was just coming right back into my face. And it circled. It seemed like forever. It circled us. I mean, it seemed like for absolute ever. It probably no more than a minute or two. But man, it finally we made it down following it, not walking following it, air following it, and to about 150, maybe 200. I think 200 is pushing it. Maybe 100, 150 yards down below us, and all of a sudden, man, we heard the loudest scream, hollow roar. Um, I, I I've never heard anything like it. It scared us
Hmm.
to death, man. And then immediately following that, it stepped out. And what I mean by stepped out, it stepped out of the thicket into somewhat of a little clearing, and I throwed my light up to it, and this is a lot. I've held this story for 30 years. I've just recently come forward. And a lot of reason I did is because all those years back before the internet, I kept reading Sasquatch, 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 and everything I was reading was either brown, black, the occasional gray, red, and I
Mhm.
thought I was a nut because what I was looking at was it was either white or extremely, extremely, extremely light gray. Where back then we didn't have LED. All spotlights were halogen. And
Right.
I wanted it to have been reflecting the light. Well, anyway, long story short, it squared up with us, and and then I remember the eye shine. It did have eye shine. It was a bluish, not bluish, but like a greenish yellow, and it was
Hmm.
just sitting there rocking left to right, left to right,
Yep.
left to right. And it did this quite a few times, and man, when it it upsets me talking about it. When it went for the road, it was about a 30-foot embankment from the where the creature was at and the gravel road adjoining where we was parked. And man, the minute it made that move, we all just scrambled. I mean, everybody's fighting for position. Who couldn't get in the front was getting in the back. And I remember I was driving that I remember, and I don't remember getting in the truck. But I remember just matting the gas. I mean, floorboarding it and throwing gravel. Well, this thing covered that amount of distance in seconds. I mean, literally seconds. And I remember looking up in the rear view and I could see the torso. But one of my buddies that was in the back, uh, hit it. It was a 30-ton bottle jack in the back of the truck. this for those that don't know what a bottle jack is, these are jacks they use to jack up mobile homes to set them in place. And this jack has to weigh 25 to 30 pounds if it weighs an ounce. And it just completely bounced off. I remember him screaming, "Oh my God!" It just bounced off. It bounced off, and
Wow.
yeah, and then we had to take the girl home. I mean, this girl had snuck out of her house. She didn't want to get in trouble. Uh, man, she had a
Oh man,
Oh no! Don't tell me we lost. Oh
we
man.
lost him.
Oh,
Oh
Oh,
man, I was getting into that. I mean,
right
me
I
into
too.
was.
it.
I know. I was picturing. I was here, listening to all the details. Oh, here he is again. Oh,
Okay,
hurry up,
good.
get back, continue.
can you hear me?
All right, we got you back. Yeah, it was getting
Yeah,
good too, and you cut out.
yeah, yeah, man. No, he threw a 30-ton bottle jack at it, and I mean, man, it just bounced off. And the girl that had snuck out earlier that night to be with us, well, my buddy, it messed. She had a nervous breakdown. She lost it. I mean, she completely lost it, and we had to take her home. And when we were getting this sliding this girl in her bedroom, we had to take her home, get her parents out of bed, and try to explain to these people. And I can only imagine what they're thinking. We didn't leave there with them believing it. I can tell you that. But, we went back the next day, and believe me, against my better judgment, because I don't track these things. I don't get out in the field. I am strictly armchair research, and I'm fine with that. It's scared. Three of us lost control of our bladder. Three out of seven people, we lost our bladders. And I remember we found the jack about 120 yards from where it was thrown out of the truck. And you could see the impressions because it was in the middle of a drought. And ground's just like a rock. Anybody that knows Southern Summers knows what I'm talking about. That ground gets just plumb awful. And but we did see the impressions because it's a softer shoulder, and we did see the impressions where the thing climbed the bank. And man, this thing covered. I know it had to be a little more than 30 feet and about 3 steps. That
Yep.
is that's unbelievable. And looking back, I've asked myself a million times, how in the world can these things navigate and hunt and and creep up into somewhat populated areas completely undetected? And it's mind-boggling. But
Man.
yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And I haven't. I've been asked several times, "Would you go back? Would you go back? Would you go back?" And my answer every time is, "Hell no, I ain't going back." But you know, this was 30 years ago, and I barely talked to my wife about it. I could count it on one hand, and we in the 20 years that we've been married, I count on that the subject, one hand that the subject has even come up,
Oh wow.
Wow.
and
Now,
yeah, it's
the,
the stigma that comes along with it. Like I said, a lot of what held me back, and I do mean a lot of what held me back, was the fact that what we saw was white. And
mm,
there's no mistaking this thing, man. I didn't get a real good look at that distance of wrinkles, and uh, I could see it did have a very wide opening for a mouth. I could see the eyes and the deep set brow ridge. I saw all that. The eyes were way far apart. When we didn't smell
hmm
anything, we didn't smell anything. It didn't throw anything at us. Uh, if that's a bluff charge, that's one hell of a bluff charge. It worked.
Well, it definitely sounds like well, there's bits and pieces that of what you described that I could definitely relate to, or some of this information I could, collaborates with some, my experience. Like you said you started going side to side, and that's something we've experienced with one of my encounters, and then you said a greenish to yellowish color eye shine. The
Yeah,
yellowish part, yeah. When I've had mine, the eye shine we seen where it was just yellowish. It was yellowish to almost an amber, slight amber, but it was more yellow than anything. And of course, now
yeah.
you mentioned you have the halogen lights, which yeah, we had LEDs and everything else, and I do believe the different types of lights may reflect different forms of light. So that yeah, that would make sense. But now were you able to make out like as far as height wise?
Oh,
What would you
dude.
get?
Yeah. I take a reference point of the one branch in particular that was close to it. That was, for lack of a better term, kind of patting it on its head. But not really, but you know what I mean. It was kind of touching, and it had to be eight and some change, and
Wow.
every bit of 4.5 feet wide. Every bit
Wow.
of it.
Yeah, I could definitely
Wow.
agree or believe that. Most definitely. That is that's actually pretty incredible. Now, for those who may be tuning in late, this story, this encounter, sighting that he has, happened here in Virginia, uh, and this particular area, I can't say I know where you this happened. The area, you did mention the county, which Pittsylvania
Yeah,
County here in Virginia. Now, one
yeah.
thing I do know from other stories and reports, and I know Tracy Arnold could probably share a whole lot more, but I know from the ones I've heard happen in down close to that area, but on the surrounding counties. So that's kind of a hot spot right there. That is kind of a hot spot, and there's been other sightings and reports in that area. So,
Hey, Michael,
um,
I have a question to ask
Yeah.
you. These people that actually saw it with you, have y'all ever gotten together and talked about the story again? What happened to y'all that day?
Oh Lord, yeah. I mean, each other is all we really had for years. I spent my first 7 years uh, in denial. Uh, it was trauma, man. A part of me died that day because I grew up in the woods. I loved hunting in the woods and fishing in the woods, and I didn't care. I was home in the woods. It wasn't no video games back then, and a part of me died that day, and a part of them died that day. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I've spoken to them on multiple occasions till I came out here recently. That was the only ones I could talk to in my family, of course, about it. But no, I mean I, I've been diagnosed with PTSD, severe anxiety, went straight into alcohol abuse for about a decade after it happened. The girl that was with us that night, God bless her soul, she never got a grip on it. Really, she passed with an overdose, and
Wow.
oh my,
she never. Anytime through the years after this happened, if the mere subject of the road or a road that's close to that road came up, she just went hysterical. I mean,
Wow.
completely hysterical.
mm.
Uh, Michael, let me ask you this too, Michael. Uh, how long after the event did you actually start going to the woods, or did you not ever go back?
Oh no! I mean, I never went back in the woods hunting anything. I never went back deep in the woods for anything. Back then my mindset was deeper in the woods the better.
Hmm.
Especially especially if your kid's out cutting up and doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. The further back in the woods you get, the better. But but no, I don't do the woods no more. I fish, and if I fish a pond, I make sure someone's with me. If I'm fishing alone, heaven forbid, I try not to. Then I do river fishing close to real busy highways.
Right.
Uh, Trying to keep myself out of that same position, and it's messed me up to the point to where, let's say for instance, and I don't mean to throw a plug if I am, maybe say for instance I go to the Golden Corral to eat. I'm gonna pick the chair that's in the corner facing the door, if, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes good sense.
Yeah.
There's sometimes too, as when I had my encounter, and when I had all these things happen to me in the woods, and I finally realized what it was. It took me a while, for me to go back into the woods. Even now, it's deer season out here. I could go out there if I wanted to, and to go sit in a deer blind and go sit on a stand. I could go to any other locations and be comfortable with it. But once I'm in this certain location, I'm not, because I know that it's still there and
Yep.
that it's still around. And it's just, but thing is also too, again, is that they have to understand one thing, is that this creature is more, is more afraid of us than we are of him. And I haven't heard of anybody
Well,
getting hurt by this creature. So I just take it like this. I respect him the way, him being in the woods, and then me knowing that he's there, even when I'm hunting. I know when he's there, and because I know the how the wildlife reacts when he's there. But we basically have this respect between each other. He stays his distance, and I stay mine. So I mean, and but it took me a
yeah,
it took me a while. It took me a long while in order for me to get comfortable with the woods, and to this day, I'm not comfortable with it. And because the thing is, again, I
me.
know that it's there, but the thing is, again, it's come, and sometimes it's like overcoming your fear, because to me it was a fear, and that I know that is in there, and slowly, I have, with the help of my family, I have slowly coming out of it.
Yeah, my dad, had me in the woods, smallmouth bass fishing when I was in a toter. If that tells you anything. I mean, just a few months old, and I mean, in the mountains, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I'm a woodsman through and through. And out of all people to tell this to, what happened to us, my dad was the hardest, because I knew first thing out of his mouth was going to be, "Oh, that's nonsense. You saw a bear. You saw something." Okay, Virginia bears aren't white,
Yep. They're
and
all black. I've seen plenty of them.
yep, and that was one hell of a bear. Uh, but he even approached me later on, like, "So why ain't you fishing no more? Why ain't you fishing no more?" And I said, "You remember what I told you, Dad? What I told you was the truth. I don't. If I need fish that bad, I'm going to Walmart to buy it. I ain't. I ain't. I mean, don't get me. I love to fish. I probably got thousands of dollars worth of fishing rods in my room back here. I don't touch them.
Man. Yeah, I hear from a lot of people it's been very traumatic. I guess, yeah, traumatic, whatever. As far as the experience, there's been a lot of people that said they won't go back to the woods. If they do, they're not going back alone. Um, because I know a couple people right offhand that told me stories. One of the stories I was told was it was a secondhand story. Um, But yeah, I mean, the guy didn't speak about what he saw for years till a buddy of mine reached out to him that was actually camping with him that night, and finally the guy, he was able to get it out of the guy. The guy's like, "Well, you're not gonna believe me." He says, "You're gonna think I'm joking or lying, blah blah blah." And my buddy was like, "No, try me." But yeah, I mean, the guy was trying. He was. I mean, just from what I heard, from what I told the guy, was just I don't know, basically almost lost it. So, but I mean, that's just one story. But yeah, I've heard of other people talking about how it's really changed their lives seeing something like this. Because see, in society, Bigfoot it's considered something that's not supposed to exist. Because it's like a lot of other people. There's a lot of people that don't believe, and and they're the ones that ridicule and mock the ones that who do believe and have claim to have seen them. But things change when it happens to them.
Yeah.
So.
See, Daniel. It's I know that we lost Michael here, but
Oh, here
this
he is.
was
He came back.
great.
Yeah, there he is.
See, and the thing is, this is what this group's all about. It's dealing with sharing the experiences and everything like that. Talking to somebody who actually had an experience like that, especially a terrifying one like that. Having to somebody to at least to have an ear just to say, hey, you know what, that this is okay. I know that this happened to you. Tell us your story, and like that, you could help other people. There's,
Right.
I mean, how many other people are out there who are so terrified of actually of having an event happen like that, and still in back of their heads, they still haven't
Yeah.
told nobody about it. So
Right.
so that's I mean, that's how we help other people out. Hey, just come out here and just tell us your story. And maybe that you sharing it with other people who actually had the experience that you had. Maybe that it can make you feel a little bit more better. At least open it
Right.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. One
Yep.
thing that I've actually in my mind of course, it's my opinion. Which I've heard a lot of people collaborate. I've heard a lot of people think the same way. I've had a lot of people think differently, but I believe they're very nomadic. Uh, because I don't see one being able to sustain life completely undetected in my area. Now, I could be speaking out of ignorance. Uh, but just my opinion, uh, in my area, I really think they are nomadic, but I could be wrong.
Well, I mean that would make sense. I believe that could. I definitely believe that that could be true. I mean, a lot of people think they migrate. But that perhaps they do move to and from. But a lot of people experience things in like year after year they experience a lot of things in certain particular areas. And I guess as the seasons go, when colder weather comes, I'm sure they like a lot of wildlife like this time of year, the deer are on the move. They're pressured because of hunting season, and then plus on top of that, the colder weather gets them moving. Um, so then when as the winters come and seasons change, I do believe they do move around. It's like any animal. You're thinking your apex predators like your bears and mountain lions. I mean, if their food source, like well, let's say a mountain lion. Let's say if their food source is deer, if the deer move east, they're gonna move east. So they're to me that would only make sense. So I definitely agree that they do move around. You know,
Yeah,
um,
I, I, I have searched and searched and searched for an explanation for the white color The only thing that I could come up with is maybe albinism, or it was old.
Old,
Age.
yeah. I've always thought that myself. Because I've heard that ain't the first time here in Virginia I've heard that color that you described. I've heard that from a couple other people, but most common that I hear of is either like a reddish brown or a black. So,
Yeah.
but I have heard the color that you described a couple times. So
Well, it
I
makes me
mean,
go.
yeah, but as far as age, that would make it could be age, or like you said, it could be it could be just a natural thing, whatever. I've heard of people saying
It's just
all
natural
white, which
albinism, not albino.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we got albino deer and rabbits, and you know, but
People.
yeah, 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 people most definitely. So,
Yeah.
um, wanted to ask you now, how far from Chatham, Virginia? I think I asked you this the one time in chat on Messenger, but how far from Chatham, Virginia was this? Oh, south.
Okay.
Was it south?
If if I knew the back road, and this is a shame to say because I've grown up here all my life, if I got to going down it, I may remember it. If we went the back road, I would say 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. That's
Okay.
nothing but back roads. Uh,
Yeah, because I know if you get off of Route 29 off the one of the Chatham exit, like, are you familiar where they're doing the big pipeline job? Where they put it in the big pump station for the pipeline down in
yeah,
Chatham.
yeah, I'd take you right to it. It's right before you come to that little area they call tight squeeze.
Yeah, so I've been down there several times delivering to the pipeline job, and you know, and yeah, because I know that area just from the clearing they have done in the woods there. I mean, it's funny because like I said, I've been down there several times, and the area, I swear to you, the area just kind of screams out Sasquatch. The area is totally squatchy. That's one thing I've always noticed about driving down there. I haven't been down there in a while because I think they pretty much got things wrapped up down there. But
Oh yeah, they
but
have.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I've been down there several times. It's over a 2 hour drive to head down there. It's a good 2 hour drive or so from where I travel to get down there. But that area is definitely squatchy just in that general area, alone. So,
Yeah,
but
you map the town of Chatham and then map White Oak Mountain wildlife management, and you'll see how
okay.
close they are.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Pretty
Because
cool.
when you leave Chatham, and let's say instead of going north towards Lynchburg the way you left, let's say you go
Right.
south. This is the way I live, and in a matter of just a couple of minutes, you will be climbing White Oak Mountain.
Hmm.
Hey, Michael, I got a
I've
question
heard
to
of
ask you. When y'all first saw this thing, what do you think it was?
Uh, for some reason or another, and I'm not trying to even be a joke, but pissed comes to mind. It it was pissed, but as far as what it is, man,
Now,
that's a good one.
at the moment in time when you first saw it, what did you think that you were looking at?
I I went blank. It looked supernatural. I mean, it looked this don't belong here. I mean, I've been on this earth. I mean, at the time, 18 years. This thing don't belong here. I, is it flesh and blood? I think so. Uh, I think so. Uh, will we ever know everything about it? I don't think so. Uh, I don't know. Deep down, if I had to guess, it's a couple things. One is I really believe it's a living being, and the other is, and I truly do mean this from the bottom of my heart. When I looked in that rear view and I saw the torso of this thing, had it really, really, really deep down wanted anybody out of the back of that truck, it could have got them. Not a doubt in my mind.
Wow.
Yep. One of the biggest things, another thing that sticks out about it is the forearms. The forearms are just ridiculous, man. I think of Popeye when I think about it. I mean, the forearms are ridiculous.
Hmm.
And I hear a lot of people talk about, black skin and gray skin. And bear in mind, I'm almost 50, and I had probably 3 to 4 seconds of this thing in the light. So I'm trying to, out of 50 years of living, try to put these 4 seconds together and give people as much information as I can because it, if I feel for 1 second that might not been what I saw as far as any detail, I just won't say it. What's the point? You know, um, I don't remember seeing a real dark skin pigment. It was more of a, I don't know. I guess it could have been a light gray. The skin pigment was just lighter in color, and it did do the weaving thing. Now that it done when it stepped out, it completely squared up. In other words, if I'm going to dart, our way is which way he's darting, and that's when it did the uh, left to right thing. But you got to understand this was right after a scream that I don't know how in the world it didn't break every window in the truck as loud as that
Wow.
was. I have no idea how it didn't break the windows in the truck.
Wow. That's why, we have some of our family members actually named it Grita Feo. And in Spanish, it basically means who screams ugly. And it's a yell that you will never forget. It makes the back of your hair, it makes your skin crawl, makes you jump out of the couch, makes you do a lot of things going, hey, I guess he's back. But again, he never messes with us or anything like that. He just basically makes himself known. And there's sometimes you don't hear from him for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden he's there again. So this is the kind of stuff that we
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
So
One of
wow.
the things that I've noticed, and not just here recently looking back, but looking back all my life, were if anybody knows Virginia, and they know it in the summertime, they know that the cicadas are everywhere. They will drive you bonkers.
Right.
And
Yeah.
man, I do not remember if we had heard cicadas before the holler or not. I'm not 100% enough sure to put that out there. But what I can tell you this is once we heard that scream slash hail slash roar, whatever it was, that was it. There was no cicadas, there was no whippoorwills, there was no crickets,
Wow.
no frogs, nothing.
Wow.
Once that audible happened, everything shut up.
Wow. That's the way it normally goes. I mean, I have it down here. So most definitely.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of therapy. I just talked to Wes not long ago on South Squatch Chronicles, and that was right. I post my story my wife told me. She says, "Well, just sit down and tell her exactly how it happened." She said, "No, add nothing, don't leave nothing." And that's what I done. And I posted it in a couple of Bigfoot groups, more or less fishing, and I was really fishing for white ones. If that makes any sense. The the white stories make me. I'm intrigued by all of it. I'll sit here and read Bigfoot from front to back all day, every day. But the white ones really intrigued me because that's what I saw.
I would be intrigued by that too, because like I said, that there would be considered rare. As far as yeah, like I said, I've heard of it a couple times, but
Yeah,
you know, I think it's rare to hear about that. So yeah, I would be definitely intrigued by that too. So um, hmm. Now
excuse me,
with
fella. I'm
the
fighting off a little bit of a cold.
oh no, you're fine. Now I know you said
But
you wouldn't ever really go out there again, but would you ever consider going back out there with a group of people?
uh,
Even though all this started with a group of people in the first place.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been asked that since I came forward several times, and I'm wrestling with it. Uh, it don't help when I get that adrenaline rush and nervous stomach. I mean, and I can look at the pictures all day long, other than one. There's one in Pennsylvania that they call on YouTube, and this white thing, he goes in there, and it's fairly, I think it was Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and he goes in his backyard carrying a flashlight, just in an El Cheapo, just a like my dad used to call them those square battery flashlights, like you said. And he's looking and he's looking,
Oh,
and when he pans around to his left, he catches it, and he catches it right in the sun, in the light, and immediately this thing bolts off to its right. But that is the closest thing that I've seen to it ever, and I mean ever. And I've seen where that film was broken down frame by frame by frame, and you can see the grimace, that you can see the nostril flare, you see it blink. Uh, and I'm here to tell you, at first, deep down, I was like, no way. There's no way nobody caught it. That's got to be a hoax. That's got to be a hoax. And then, after some more research and uh, a lot more, I call it there again, armchair research, the validity is growing on me. If you guys want to check it out, you may have already seen it, I'm sure. But it happened in Pennsylvania in the guy's backyard, and it's white. And when he catches that thing, that's it. That's what I saw.
hmm. Do you know what? Do you happen to have this guy's name? Oh, I think he's buffering. His connection must be weak.
You know who else has seen a white Bigfoot who just told her story is Debbie Jones from Sisters of the
Debbie.
Moon. And
Okay.
Bigfoot Odyssey just did his show on her, and that's going to be coming out like within the week here. But Debbie Jones had that white Bigfoot sighting. Now I
Okay.
know she's out of eastern Texas somewhere, but I don't remember where her
Oh, is
sighting
she?
was. But yeah, so that's like 2 white Bigfoots that I've heard this week. Now it's
Hmm.
kind of weird. She said it was either super
Okay.
light
Yeah,
gray or it was white because she saw it in her car light.
Yeah.
Wow.
Car.
yeah. That white thing was a game changer for me.
Yep, for her too. But when that comes out on Bigfoot Odyssey's next show, it'll be real interesting to hear all the details.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, because even Baltimore said it, and it's just. I mean, it would make sense that that kind of color would be of age, right, Baltimore? I mean, that makes sense, all right. It
To me,
would make sense. I mean,
well, the thing, I mean, birds change colors when they eat a certain type of food. Uh, I mean,
I'll be right back.
like the spoonbill. Every time it eats a certain type of crabs, it turns hair. It turns the feathers red. And to me,
yeah,
something with hair like that have to be dealing with age, I think, or it could
yeah,
possibly. But to me, would be kind of rare. But that's
yeah,
one thing. Everything's dealing. I mean, we just don't. Again, this is what makes this subject so interesting because we don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about. It could be a certain a certain type of birth defect, or it could be age.
yeah,
Those are the two things. And if I had to pick something, it would have to be age.
yeah. I agree. Because thinking about other animals, for example, it's probably I don't know, been about 2 or 3 months now. But on occasion, my parents get bear that come walking through their yard. They come from they're coming from the mountain and crossing through the yard and headed down to the river. And my parents get deer all the time through there. But the last time when Dad had a bear, when Dad walked out the side garage and happened to see a big black bear walking along the fence line between his on his on the edge of his property and the neighbor's property. It caught him by surprise, but Dad said he had a good look at him. He was watching him.
Right.
Dad said that bear, he knew it was an old bear because you know, the black bears here are very black, and the face was all white. You know, just like kind of like a dog. When a dog gets old, they live long enough to be old. They get their white face and stuff too. So, um, I know that's not really a good comparison
Yeah.
for something like that, but they do, in the snout, mainly in the snouts, they get the white, you know. So, but I don't know,
Just
definitely interesting.
just wonder if it may be some kind of chromosome in the pigment of the skin, maybe.
Yeah, that's very possible. So, um,
So Melissa George
uh,
is listening.
hey Melissa. Oh, and yeah, she said she has Carrie and Marty. Marty's her husband. Carrie's her daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Watching with awesome.
What's up, Melissa?
Yeah, that's cool. I have yet to get them back on here. I've had Melissa and Carrie on here, uh, well, 3 or 4 years ago, and which was pretty cool. So they shared their story on here. It was pretty cool. We have yet to bring them back on again.
Hmm.
So yeah, we
How
keep
you been,
losing.
Frank?
Hey, how's it going?
Going good.
How about you, Nikki?
Good.
Good to see y'all again.
Working.
Hey, if you guys want Frank to talk to him here, because don't put him in front of a live audience in public. He'll become frozen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to get you on that, Frank.
that's all right.
Hey, it happens, bud.
I know. The Baltimore will tell you he gets nervous too.
I get nervous
It's
big
normal.
time.
It was my first time trying it, and I got started going, and then I was getting ready to start about the tree figures that Bigfoot does, and I just froze right there out of nowhere.
It happens, bud. Let me tell you.
Well,
Yeah.
Frank, while we got you on here, you want to do a presentation right now? Melissa George said, "Hey, Frank, we love you."
Oh, there's no
So,
love for Daniel.
I get all the love. Don't worry about it. I just don't brag about it.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Hey,
Harold's telling me now. Daniel, play nicely.
hey, Daniel. Let me get you back to that little fear thing. That a lot of
Oh
people.
yeah,
That, there's a lot of people that really don't understand about the fear thing. Um, once this thing happens to you, once this thing happens to you, and you actually see these things, and you actually have this certain encounter, you can be. I'll give you an example. I could be talking to my fiance parked by a by a cattle guard, and then all of a sudden you feel this feeling like, hey, you better get out of here and get out of here quick. Even though that there is nothing around you or whatever, you just have this urge and this feeling of fear that overtakes you, and you just have to leave right away because if you stay there, you feel that something bad's going to happen to you right there in the spot. Even though your doors are locked, even though you have a pistol on your side, you'll always fear that something's going to come out of these woods and get you. And
right,
a lot of people don't understand about the psychological things that actually happens to people that actually have these certain experiences, and it's very difficult to get out of it. It's like it's like some form of trance or something like that. There's some type of instinct that you have now that you have to be very, very aware, even though when you're close to these woods and everything. Because I can't go camping by myself. Somebody has to be there with me because again, is that certain fear. When I was smaller, I used to do that all by myself, but now I just can't do it.
right. Hmm. No, I know a lot of people when they have certain situations. Let's we'll talk about Bigfoot experiences and stuff. I think it's different with some people. I mean, now like now my experience, my situation that happened back in 2014. Um, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised at myself. I mean, and we had one person that was with us out of six of us that was a little scared about the situation. But I think because we were together, I don't know what it was, but we were. I don't know. Nobody seemed like they were scared. They were more excited than anything. Um, Now I know being alone was a totally different situation a year later when I was camping just around the corner from where that sighting, the experience happened there. I was by myself, and with that situation, even though I didn't see nothing at that particular moment, what I heard walk away from me, I knew it was bipedal and it was very heavy. And now I was a little scared and nervous, and I'm not afraid to admit that I was. But compared to the situation when we were a group of us, I don't know. It was just weird. I mean, and after it was all done and said, it was. I don't know. It's like kind of felt like more. We felt so. I don't know. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know how the others felt, but I felt so calm and relaxed afterwards. I know that's kind of probably. I don't know what the right word to use, but compared to a lot of other people's experiences, it really messed up a lot of people. So. But I think it just depends on everybody and their nature, how they take
Yeah.
things. I guess. But um, now
Yeah.
if I was ever by myself and saw one by myself, that yeah, I might probably I'll probably need a change of underwear or something. I don't know. I never been in that situation alone, so you know. I mean, I've had experiences alone, but not a sighting alone. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that could be a game changer right there. So, let's see. Um, okay, Melissa said, okay, dinner is calling. You
If,
guys have a great night evening.
it's his it,
What's that, Michael? Were you trying to say something? I don't know.
Can you hear
I don't know
us?
if he's there.
I don't
Yeah.
know nothing. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
no
Happens to me all
problem.
the time.
Yeah, on so much medicine, it don't take much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a
You know who Michael always
real
reminds me of?
pleasure to meet all you guys tonight. I
Oh,
really like
absolutely.
people. Huh?
Oh, I said, oh, absolutely. I see you. And another thing, you're welcome to join us
Yeah.
anytime you want. If you ever want to come on here and talk Bigfoot, just let me know. So, yeah, because we like talking about Bigfoot, and thank you for sharing your
Yeah,
story too.
Yeah, that's
I'll
amazing.
Definitely.
definitely
That was
do
amazing.
that.
So, if you want to hang on, I understand if you have to jump off. If you want to hang in there, because sometimes we get into talking about
Yeah.
other things too here. So,
My mom.
did we lose his audio?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
his audio.
fine. I'll
Okay.
save it.
Yeah, I thought
My
you.
mom had an experience in you.
Oh,
I found
I
here.
know people that live in Gretna.
And
Yeah, tell me about the
that,
Gretna experience. Say that again. You're going in and out.
yeah, that was yeah, Gretna. That was when my mom grew up in the 50s, and I don't know a lot of the details. So tell me the whole time I was growing up that they used to cook. Back then houses were rare. It was all wooded, and she said that, and I'm not blaming this on Sasquatch or dog man or anything, but she said, and I quote, my hand on the Bible, I will quote. She said that something ran the dogs and the hunters completely out of the woods, and they never went back, never hunted it again. And who knows what that could have been?
Hmm. Wow.
I don't have an educated guess on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, Gretna. I think that's I'm trying to think where that's located. I know somebody that lives there, and they're always inviting me to come down. And
It's
isn't that east of Roanoke, or
yeah,
maybe no
it's a little
Lynchburg?
north of Chatham.
Okay, I've
Yeah,
probably been
it's
through it
like
then.
if you're on 29 north going from Chatham to Lynchburg, then yeah, you go right through Gretna.
Okay. Huh. Actually, oh, okay, no, okay. I think I know where Gretna is. I'm getting it mixed up with Grundy, Virginia, for some reason. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, that's easy to
Hey
do.
Daniel,
okay,
let me ask you this, Daniel. When
yeah,
when I lived in Virginia, when I lived in Virginia,
yeah.
there were you all have a bad epidemic with ticks, don't y'all?
Oh yeah, ticks. I mean, well, that's everywhere, but I know they say they're worse around.
Like Surrey County, because it was real bad
Well,
down by Surrey County, down by
yeah,
Hog Island,
they.
down by
I mean, I've picked off a few, just a few ticks this past summer, but I guess it wasn't entirely too bad for me in my area up here. But there's certain parts, yeah, ticks have been pretty bad overall in the state of Virginia. But one thing
Well,
I've always heard, especially close to like the waterway, those not cottontails, cattails or the tall
right.
grass and stuff around waterways. They say those are real bad for carrying ticks. So, because I think dad once told me, he says, yeah, because up north in Massachusetts on the East Coast, he said a lot of those tall cattails have been known to carry a lot of ticks.
Wow.
They're real bad. So I never knew that, but I'm sure maybe it's the same down here. But overall, yeah, ticks have been pretty bad.
I
Even though they weren't too bad for me, but so yeah.
I, I can offer a piece of advice into this. If someone wanted to do a little research on it, is never kill possums, man. Possums eat up to
Oh yeah,
80,000 ticks a day, and
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Good
and I
God.
never believed that till I looked it up.
Yeah. Another thing, you
Yeah,
actually remind me of something else, and this is a little off course. Now, Baltimore, I'm sure Nikki, you guys live in Texas, where there's a lot of armadillos down there,
Oh
and
yeah, I see them all. I see a lot of them all the time, and they're starting to be seen a lot more.
really,
Yeah, oh yeah.
well, the reason I'm bringing that up because yeah, Michael for some reason it popped in my head when he was talking about the possums, but the armadillos. Now, one thing I don't know a lot about them, but the one thing I do know is that they carry leprosy,
Leopard, right.
and yeah. Now, I seen a video. I don't know who posted it, whatever, but somebody was cooking armadillo.
Oh yeah.
Now, isn't that so? I
Oh
mean, is
yeah.
it safe to cook them and eat them?
Well, put it this way: when I was small, we were actually raised with by eating armadillo. We used to cook them with chili powder and lemon, salt and pepper, and stick them
Oh, okay.
in and poor man's
Yeah,
called it. Yeah, delicious. Let me tell you. Yeah.
yeah. Because the video I saw, where I guess I don't know how it didn't show how they cooked them, but they were able to pop them out of their shell, whatever. The shell separated from the rest of them. I don't
Yeah.
know how they. I'm assuming they must have steamed them or boiled or whatever. I don't know what they did,
Yeah.
but that's what I
That,
remember seeing in the video.
yeah, that's one thing that we
So
normally did. We normally cut them out from the shell and that's and cook them that way. So I don't think it's too sanitary
okay,
if you cook them in the shell. But uh, but
yeah.
but that's the way that we used to cook it a long time ago. Man, it's one of the best things you ever put in your mouth. Let me tell you, the armored
How
rat,
would you describe? Yeah, how do you describe the meat?
just like pork.
kind of.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why they call it poor man's
Huh.
pork. Yeah.
Well, if I ever come down there,
Blah.
you'll have to fix me some. Wait, Nick, you said what?
I
Kind of.
You
am
know?
not eating no armadillo. I am from Texas. Have never had
Kind
armadillo. Never seen a wild armadillo. And won't eat one either.
I'm always up for trying something new. So I mean,
Hey, he
but,
made it sound
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
oh man, hey
my,
Jimmy
my
Blanton,
wife,
how you doing,
my
Jimmy?
wife swears that
What's it? We lost your audio.
Swears what?
uh, no, my wife swears. I must think so rare. My wife swears it has a pulse. It is so
yeah.
rare that it's still got a.
Pulse.
So if you go out to eat to a restaurant and you order a steak, you tell the waiter or the waitress, I want my steak still mooing. That's how I like my steak. I like a
either
rare to a
that or just
medium
wait
rare.
till it just stops moving. I do too.
Yeah. I tell you what, the best steak in a restaurant I've ever had was a Longhorn Steakhouse. I had a New York strip. It was so thick, and the way they seasoned it, that big thick steak would literally melt in your mouth. It was so
Wow.
good. Yeah, that's been a long time since I've been there. And but yeah, it's called Longhorn Steakhouse. It's really good food.
Wow.
I actually liked it better than what's the other steakhouse that we have around here? The Outback. The Outback. Yeah, the Outback's okay. They got good steaks too, but yeah. Then we got Texas Steakhouse out here. Yeah, ain't that something? We got Texas Steakhouse up here in Virginia. Well, we got KFC here too, so
It's like Texas
we don't
toast.
have no
It's like
Texas toast. Yeah.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, I like the Texas toast.
Well, the thing is, again, I can't see the only reason why they call it Texas toast because it's big. It don't come from Texas. True.
Yeah, I know.
That's the kind of stuff y'all make
Yeah,
up.
I know.
That's the kind of stuff y'all make up, like the Texas Outlaw. True.
Oh, where's Zach when we need him? Zach's the one that made that up, Baltimore.
His sister did.
His
Yeah.
sister- He's a Texas outlaw and he lives in Illinois.
That's funny.
Oh, well, I'm a California Bigfoot researcher and I live in Virginia, so. All right, let's see. Johnny Tucker. Let me back up a little bit. Harold said, Baltimore, have you eaten gator tail?
Yes. Excellent.
And
Eating that
yeah,
in Florida. Yeah.
I did when I was
Johnny
younger.
Tucker said, I'm sorry, what's that, Frank?
I ate it too, but when I was younger, I was in Myrtle Beach and I threw up for 12 hours straight from that night.
Really?
Yeah. 1992.
Wow. Johnny Tucker said, howdy from Eastern North Carolina. Everyone have a good weekend.
You too.
And then Harold said, Longhorn Steakhouse is way better than Texas Roadhouse.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they are. The steak is good there, yes. Most definitely. So, the one thing I do like about, as far as the Outback, they have I love their bloomin' onion. So, but, and their dipping sauce for that. It's like a yellow mustard.
Yeah.
Tangy sauce is real good. So,
Anyone come across the Bigfoot burger?
a Bigfoot burger? Yeah, we got Bigfoot burgers here in Virginia.
Hey, there's a Bigfoot burger down in Berkeley, Texas. They just started it. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah. See, that's right. I remember you did that. Ours is not called the Bigfoot burger. They have it's called the Wood Booger, whatever. There's I haven't been there yet, and it's about 4 hours south of me. It's called it's in Norton, Virginia. We'll have to go check that out one day, Frank.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
yeah, it's the Wood Booger Grill, and they do burgers and whatever else there. But I've heard it's pretty good from for those who's been there. So, but yeah, because Norton, Virginia is supposed to be they acknowledge Bigfoot there, which is pretty cool. The town of Norton, Virginia acknowledges Bigfoot. So, and they do the Wood Booger Festival every year there too. So it's not a real big thing, but it's just like Sam Deloach attends it, and he said it's more for young children than anything, but it's pretty cool though. I might still want to go check it out one of these days. So
The one that we have is Littleton Food and Spirits in Littleton, North Carolina. I've had that once when I was down there. It was real, real good. It was they have it in a double cheeseburger and triple cheeseburger size.
Wow.
yeah. Oh yeah, when we were down in South Carolina, one of the vendors on their menu they had written in they called it the Bigfoot Burger.
I didn't see that one.
I didn't get that. Yeah, they had it written in on their menu, whatever. But they just titled it that way for the event. It's like I think my first year event, Baltimore. I don't know if you remember, but the food vendors. I think it was the barbecue guy, our barbecue vendor. I think he had some of his items named under like different Bigfoot stuff.
Right.
Which was pretty cool. He did that for the event. So,
That donut wagon should
but
name their donuts Bigfoot donuts.
oh man, yeah. If you guys get a chance to come down to South Carolina for the Westminster Bigfoot Festival, if they have their donut vendor there again,
Donut wagon.
you will say goodbye to Krispy Kreme. These guys, I mean, in my opinion, yeah, Krispy Kreme has nothing on these people. They got
That's true
big
too.
giant donuts, big huge donuts, and as soon as you put that donut in your mouth, it's already dissolved.
Wow.
That's how soft and moist they are. Yeah, because I was walking up the street, and then and then what was Frank met up with me, and he had a donut in his hand. He's like, "Here, try this." It was good. It was really good. So, but yeah, they got definitely good donuts there. So, there was a question on the chat. Jimmy Blanton is asking, "Do you guys think Bigfoot migrate?" So,
That's a
who
good.
wants to jump on that?
I'll jump on that one. I want to say. I mean, again, it's a yes and it could be a yes or no answer. Again, we don't know about the because normally when Native Americans did go to certain areas, they basically did it for uh, for the wildlife. If the buffalo went a certain way, they went towards the buffalo. But down
Mhm.
here, but speaking down here in South Central Texas, I believe that that some of them move out, and I believe that some of them stay just by the sounds that we hear. I know that
Right.
I know that there is one of them that actually leaves in March and comes back in September. Again, just by the sounds that it makes. But there's some
Yeah.
of them that just stay here all year round because we have enough food to sustain it. We have enough water. But I believe if the game was scarce, I think that he would basically would migrate.
Hmm. Baltimore, real quick. We were, you know how we were just talking about armadillos a little while ago.
Hmm.
Well, it just randomly popped in my head. Remember when me, you, and Nikki, we were on that one podcast with that one lady. Now you had brought something up, um, and you mentioned there was something to do with the armadillo in that story you were talking about. Do you call what I was talking about?
Yeah, that was dealing with my cousin and I hunting.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, you were hunting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
and
did you guys experience something during that incident? While you guys are hunting?
I mean, just again, my little cousin heard the deep breathing sound behind the blind, and he
Oh,
said
that's right.
that his son is so close that he could open up the door and hit it. That's how close it was.
Mm.
And so the thing is, again, the thing is, what was I doing? That I was snoring in the deer blind because I was sound asleep because I woke up for the past 2 days. I've been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to sit on the blind, and I just fell asleep in my chair, and my cousin was awake in it, and he actually experienced it, and he told my brother the story, and all that he knew real well was with me. He knew real well that it was something else outside that blind, and I'm glad,
Yeah.
and again, I'm glad that he didn't open up the door. So, but again, and it got me thinking. Maybe the snoring that I did, maybe he was close by and actually heard that said, "Oh, he's snoring," I want to trying to get a little bit
Yeah.
closer. Maybe I could mess with him a little bit, not realizing that there was somebody else in the blind with me. So
Right.
and then so that's when he actually that's it. It was kind of funny in a way because he comes up there and I heard there was a thump, uh, uh, a sound, and he heard and he saw the armadillo jump or actually being actually in the air, and then so that's when I got up and he pointed and he said armadillo. I said okay, armadillo. There's one there, and then so but never did he ever tell me there around the deer blind that he actually saw it like in the air. So how high was it? I don't know. But you know, armadillos tend to jump where they're actually frightened or something after them. So I really
Oh,
don't know what
wow.
happened. Yeah. So it might have been thrown, it might have been kicked. I don't know. So.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's because I recall. That's why I made that joke. The Bigfoot was playing kickball with armadillos.
Sure. Yeah.
My father is on the live chat. He said hi, Baltimore.
How you doing, bud?
So, um, Frank, I wanted to ask you now. I know you've been covering Meat Dog Mountain State Park for a while, and this time of year, is there hunting allowed in that area during the hunting seasons, or is that protected by
That's protected by it's a 4,000 square foot, 3,000 square, no, 4,000 acre state park, so it's protected by the state and nature reserve.
Oh, okay. Now, oh, have you been out there recently, or because I know you get out there and explore a lot.
As probably about a week and a half ago when we had the last warm session, I was down there and
Okay. Hmm. You should camp out down there by yourself and see what happens.
yeah,
Hey, get Steven to go with you.
the park owes me 3 nights still.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, you should get down there with Steven and maybe do a night investigation or something. Check that out. See how that works during that time of year. Since because since that area is actually protected, because wildlife in certain areas, like for example, up here on the Parkway,
Right.
um, it's a management, preserve, where all the wildlife up there, the deer and everything. I mean, a lot of people, tourists and people that ride the Skyline Drive and everything, they know that area. They get so close to deer. I mean, I've gotten close to deer, within arm reach, because those deer are smart. They know they're protected there. They know there's no harm. So, um, so I'm thinking there's a possibility that this area, the deer, they may be familiar. They know they're safe there. That may be a safe zone for a lot of wildlife. So if that's a safe zone where if the wildlife is there, there's a possibility that maybe Sasquatch may be hanging in that area. You know, as far as for their food sources. So it's probably a good possibility that you may find some signs of some activity around there. Like I know there's been several reports throughout the years from that area. Do you know if there's ever been any reports during like this time of year going into winter, fall into winter?
All the reports that I know of have come in spring through late summer. And we just had the one that's borderline on the into the fall season.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, because that's one thing. Like, I know it's kind of cold, but like me, what I like to do, throughout the years, like a lot of people always ask me, well, when's the most active time of the year? And I mainly speak for my area, even though other people have shared similar time frames as far as activity wise, like spring, early to mid spring, and early to mid fall. Like right now, well, I'm sure Frank, because the temperatures right now we've been getting 50 degree weather. Like today, high reached about 56 up here, and we've been averaging the mid 50s here lately, which is nice.
Right.
So, but when I'm gonna be out in the woods hunting tomorrow morning. So, and I get all next week because I'm off all next week. So I'm gonna be doing. I got plenty of time to get out there in the woods and hunt. But while I'm sitting there out, as a hunter, I'm gonna be observing. I'm gonna listen and shoot. I'm even gonna have my FLIR with me because when I get out there, it's gonna be dark when I get out there, and so I'll be able to scan the area with my thermal FLIR and all that good stuff. So too bad I can't mount that FLIR on my rifle. So that's the thing. I got my rifle and my shotgun both sitting here in the corner. I don't know which one I'm going to take with me. I don't know. So I don't know. I guess I'll decide in the morning before I leave.
Daniel,
But,
what kind of rifle do you have?
mine is a Remington. It's a 770 model. It's a 308. So it's a. Give me a second. No. Hold on. I'll go get it real quick. It's right here. Yeah, this is the Remington 308. It's a 770 model.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yep. So it's my pride and joy. So, yep. I love this thing. But yeah, like I said, it's the Remington. So, and then, I'm gonna lay that down carefully right there. And then I got my 12 gauge Mossberg pump. This is the Mossberg 500.
Mhm.
So, yep. So, yep. I love this one too. Mossberg's, I don't know, for some reason, Mossberg's have always been one of my favorite shotguns. So, but, it's not, for those who may not be familiar with Mossberg, it's a good quality gun. And, hold on, and it's not that expensive. So,
All right, buddy.
yeah. Yeah, Mossberg also makes, they make handguns, pistols and stuff too, but I never got one. But yeah, I don't know. I might bring my rifle out. I was tempted just to use my shotgun, but so I don't know. We'll wait and see how that turns out. So
I was going to ask you, Daniel, if you recognize that my hair's gone.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I did. Baltimore, he's been scalped.
Now let me tell you about scalping. Did you
Oh,
know that was not a Native American thing?
yeah, I think you told me it was something to do with
The French did
was
it.
it the British? Oh, the
The
French. Okay.
French started it, and then and then we gave them an example of what cutting somebody up was all about. So,
Hmm.
yep. So it was a
Nice.
French thing. Yep. So that's who actually
Interesting.
started scalping. It was never the Native American Indians, So the French started it, and then after that, we started doing that. So because that's old history.
Yeah, kind of like it was. Would you say it was like when the Native Americans started doing it? Would you say it was more of like a I don't know, maybe this ain't the right way to put it, but like a rebellion
Revenge.
or a mock
Oh, revenge.
revenge? Yeah,
Oh, revenge.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Hmm.
Just imagine. Just like the Geronimo story when the people went out
Oh
to
yeah,
trade with the Spanish, and they came back, and they found their family mutilated, and so just imagine that, and you're coming home and find your family mutilated, and then all of a sudden, so the very first thing comes to your mind is revenge. So
yeah,
and then so So that's all it was. Is basically in Spanish we call it "la venganza," the revenge. So
Mm.
yeah,
Frank, did you see those 2 comments from Harold?
Yeah, that
I
was
put them
funny.
on. Oh, okay.
He was
Yeah,
like,
he said the lawnmower got away from you.
"Get away from me." Unfortunately, no.
Well, that's it.
It was a pretty hair salonist that did it.
Do what?
I said, unfortunately, no, it wasn't a lawnmower, but it was a real pretty hair salonist.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And back when we were talking about the guns, Lupe Mendoza said, "I'm afraid of guns."
Hmm.
I know. I'm assuming he's joking because isn't he an Army vet? uh, North Country. North County Bigfoot. What's up, people? Cool. And he says, "Hi, Nikki."
I'm not seeing
So,
where are all these comments at?
you're probably only seeing the Facebook ones. I get YouTube comments on my side too. I
No,
get all comments.
I've got both of them. I'm keep going back and forth, but I'm not seeing everybody for some reason.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why.
They're probably not in a particular. I don't know. It's weird because on my side, I get the comments from both Facebook and YouTube on mine. So since we're
Huh.
broadcasting on both YouTube and Facebook, so
So Harold's on the YouTube one.
yeah, no, he's on Facebook.
Oh. Hold
I
on.
think, example, Reed Norman, which we know as Dinobot.
Yeah.
He started off on Facebook, and then went to YouTube. So because I saw his
Well,
name, Reed
see, I
Norman, and I
don't
saw
have
Dinobot pop up.
anybody on here. I don't know why. Being blocked. Harold blocked me probably.
Why would Harold block you?
I don't know. I'm just saying I can't see any of his comments. I don't know. It's weird.
Wait, who was Frank? Who was the Alabama fan? Was it you or him?
That was me. He's a Tennessee.
no,
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you guys had that thing going on. That was funny.
Yeah,
Alabama was a football team.
unfortunately, LSU took them down, but it was a close game. It's 46-41 was the final.
Oh, wow, wow, wow,
Man.
upset, wow.
LSU's undefeated, man. They've been on a roll this year. I like to see them try to do that to Clemson.
Well, alrighty, guys. I am going to call it a night. I have a little cat that wants to go to sleep. So,
All right, sounds good.
you need to go to
think we
sleep. Yeah.
Me
Alrighty,
too.
guys.
I gotta be at work by 6.
Alrighty.
Oh, okay.
All right. Good night,
All right,
guys.
sounds good. Yeah, we're gonna call it a
Bye.
night for everybody, and everybody have a good night. Thank you guys for tuning in, and check out the description. And if you're on YouTube, the description there's feel free. There is a donation link there if you guys want to donate. And till next time, we'll be back with some more Bigfoot stories and other discussions. God bless everyone, and we're out.
Night.
And it takes
Peace.
5 minutes.
Peace.
There we go.